just think we ought to wait till after you graduate.
I don't.
It's only a month.
Janet, a month.
Please.
It's all right. I personally consider us engaged as of now. Congratulations.
David, no.
Look, you can say yes in a taxi. I have a 2:30 appointment.
I'm
and you're...
staying right here.
Oh, afraid you'll say yes?
I'll see you tonight at Brandon's party.
Okay. You can say yes, sir, just as well as in a taxi. Goodbye, darling.
Bye.
That's the last time she ever saw him alive. And that's the last time you'll ever see him alive. What happened to David Kentley changed my life completely, and the lives of 7 others. Janet Walker, Henry Kentley, the boy's father, his aunt, Mrs. Atwater, his best friend, Kenneth Lawrence, a housekeeper named Mrs. Wilson, and the 2 who were responsible for everything, Brandon Shaw and Philip Morgan.
Mouse, cat and mouse.
Philip.
Which is the cat and which is the mouse?
Enough of that.
He's got it. He knows. He knows. All right, he knows.
Easy, I'll take care of it.
You won't. I'd just as soon kill you as kill him.
Hi everybody. So I just watched Alfred Hitchcock's 1948 movie The Rope, and I want to do a little review regarding this movie because I really like this movie and I want to explain a little. But before I go into details, I'm gonna tell you right away, watch the movie first if you intend to watch the movie, because I'm also gonna talk about some, well, at least some minor spoilers. So, yeah. Anyway, most people know, but some people don't know, this movie is actually one among a couple of movies that is based on an actual murder case from the 1920s, and there have been, I think, all in all, maybe 4 movies that were based on this. And I think Alfred Hitchcock's movie was the first, and the others are basically modern movies, you know, like that came out in the last couple of years, and they're very different. I like Hitchcock's movie the best. But maybe this is because in general I like older horror movies better than modern horror movies. Because in older horror movies you always have it's all about karma, you know. This is basically what old horror movies are about, you know, and modern horror movies, they're just a mess. They're just about, you know, scaring you and having CGI and you know, and shock effects, or what do you call them, you know, just to, you know, that you scream and you jump out of your seat and, you know, just stupid jump scares and stuff. In an Alfred Hitchcock movie, you don't usually have those, you know, modern day jump scares, and, you know, you don't have that crappy CGI that you have nowadays. And particularly in this movie, it's really lovely what they've done without any kind of camera tricks or anything. They're not using any tricks in this movie, and this is what I really like about this movie. It's like basically it's one continuous shot. They're not even using any they're not even cutting away with the camera like at all. Of course they are cutting. But the only reason they are cutting is because at that time the reel couldn't the camera reel couldn't hold more than 20 minutes of film, so they always had to cut at 10 minutes. One reel couldn't hold more than 10 minutes of film, so they always had to cut after 10 minutes. But that was just because the reel couldn't hold more than that. So that was the only reason. So basically, you have this entire movie and they're basically not cutting. Even if they have to cut because of the limitations of the camera reel, they're doing it in a way that you don't even see that there is a cut. So it's like... it's like being there. It's like it feels like a stage play, and you know, when you watch a stage play, the great thing about a stage play is that you're actually there, and you get the same kind of feeling when watching this movie. But even though they put great effort into it, you know, making the stage look realistic, you know, because you have this big window. It all takes place in one room, but you have this big window, and as the time passes, it's like in real time. Like maybe the movie goes like for 80 minutes, and like 80 minutes or maybe a little more pass in the movie. So, but at the beginning of the movie, it's bright outside and it's maybe late in the afternoon, and then it slowly gets dark, and you see like in real time how it gets dark outside the window, and you see lights going on and smoke rising out of the chimneys and stuff. And of course, this is a set, so they put very much love and detail into that to make it look realistic, and it's really nice to see that. And of course, as for the story itself, the story itself I think is also very interesting, and. As in the real murder that this is based on, it's about two college students, very, very bright young men, highly intelligent. But like with the real murderers, they were fans of Nietzsche, however you pronounce him. And you know, a lot of, you know, those philosophies and those theories that came up basically at the turn of the century. I'm talking about you know, the turn from the 19th to the 20th century. So and actually, you know, at that time, you know, there was World War I, and later came World War II, and I think even in those world wars, they were influenced a lot by a lot of those ideologies, you know, like Nietzsche, maybe also Freud. And of course, then you have those, you know, those socialist ideologies. You have socialism, you have communism, you have national, and of course you have all those ideologies based on social Darwinism. They're like eugenics and stuff. All that kind of stuff was popular at that time, particularly among intellectuals. And intellectuals like those two college students, and because of course the movie was shot in 1948, but the actual murder case that it is based on is from the early 20s. So, as I said, at that time, all those ideologies were popular among intellectuals. And they mention it over and over again in the movie, how those ideologies are influencing those college students to to abandon any sense of conventional morality that might have existed before that, you know. So, and to prove their point, they want to commit a murder just for the fun of it. And everything is basically just like it with the real murder case. So it's not like, oh, it's not like something Alfred Hitchcock made up to make a point or something. That's actually how it was in the actual murder case. And there is another thing that's, of course, talked about a lot, is that there were some very subtle hints to those both to the college students, to the murderers, being homosexuals. But this again is it's actually most people that's all they talk about is, oh, are they homosexuals or not? Yes, they are homosexuals because the actual murder case this is based on, the murderers were indeed homosexuals. They were in love with each other. But I don't think that is important because most of the time that's all people talk about when they talk about this movie or when they talk about the actual murder case. But I don't think this is important. I think it's much more interesting to talk about, the ideological aspect here. You know, how those theories that basically disregarded any morality were influencing those young people to commit this crime. Just for the sake of committing a crime, you know, there is no like in the actual murder case, there was no other reason for them to commit this murder. They didn't. It's not like they hated the guy they murdered. It's not like they wanted money or anything. They were rich to begin with. They had a lot of money, so that wasn't the case at all. It was just to prove a point. It was just so. Oh yeah, let's kill someone because we can, and because this makes us superior, you know. Because we can kill somebody, this makes us superior. That's the way they were thinking, and this is basically the kind of thinking that comes from social Darwinism. Survival of the fittest, stuff like that. So, and I love the end of the movie. Because in the end, of course, like with the real case, their crime gets exposed and they get arrested. That's basically the spoiler. But if you know the actual murder case that this is based on, then you know that this is going to happen anyway. And in the movie, it's like, I think it's like one of their university professors or someone like that, who actually exposes them in the end, and this is very interesting, and because at the beginning of the movie he takes their side, because of course at that time he doesn't yet know that they have committed the murder. But at the beginning, he takes their side and says like, oh yeah, if you're like, they're talking about Nietzsche and stuff. So, and he says like, if you're intellectually superior, then the normal moral codes don't have to apply to you, and you basically can do whatever you want. And then that in that case, it is even okay to kill once in a while. It, helps eliminate the weaker people. Yeah, the weak. It helps eliminate the weak. basically. He says stuff like that. So, but in the end, when he realizes that they have actually committed the murder, he thinks about all those things that he said, and he realizes that he too, in part, is guilty, because, of course, he would have never thought that someone would actually take what he says so serious that he would actually put it into practice and actually kill another human being. He never thought of that, but basically that's what he said the whole time. That's what he was preaching the whole time. He just never thought that somebody would actually go and put it into practice. But now that they have put it into practice, he realizes that he was wrong. And yeah, this is the point that I really like about this movie. Okay, so I stop rambling now. Go watch the movie. I'm sure you can buy it or find it somewhere. I highly recommend it.